Today, we're putting the Blizzy ice cream maker to the test. This machine promises soft serve without any pre-freezing, salt, or ice, a stark contrast to other models I've tried. But does it actually work, and is it worth its €300 price tag? Stay tuned to discover if this innovative machine can truly deliver on its promise of effortless soft serve, or if its hidden quirks will leave you with a disappointing mess. Starting with the unboxing, this box is enormous, no optical illusion here. Inside, I found an instruction manual and a very nicely prepared recipe guide, which seems important. There was also an unknown item, but I'll figure that out later. The top of the box advises letting the unit sit for 24 hours before use, while the quick start guide says 2 hours. That's a significant difference. I'll err on the side of caution and wait the full 24 hours. The machine itself is quite handsome and surprisingly heavy, definitely not a lightweight like the Ninja Creami. This is specifically a soft serve ice cream machine, which I purchased for €300. Online reviews are scarce. I found only 2 written reviews and 3 ratings. The manufacturer claims it's a 1.25-liter soft serve ice cream maker, requiring no pre-freezing, which was the main draw for me. Other machines I've used, like the Ninja Creami, Cuisinart, and Ninja Swirl, all necessitate pre-freezing. This one, supposedly, doesn't. It features a built-in compressor and an LED digital display, promising delicious soft serve in 30 to 40 minutes, though the website confusingly states 10 minutes. I suspect 30 to 40 minutes is more accurate. Beyond no pre-freezing, it also requires no salt, chemicals, or ice. It boasts 10 texture levels, allowing for consistencies from soft serve to scoopable ice cream, and claims the ice cream will stay cold for 6 hours. Usually, I'd mention online pros and cons, but with so few reviews, I'll skip that for now. So, I'll review these instructions, select a basic recipe from the guide, and get started tomorrow after the 24-hour waiting period. I've read the instructions, disassembled, and washed the unit. Let's go over the parts and features before making ice cream. First, the control panel. There's an on/off button, a button to adjust hardness, with plus and minus selectors, a cleaning button, and the Make Ice Cream button. To disassemble, there are 2 screws, and a spanner is provided to loosen them. The bottom section is the discharge outlet, including the handle for dispensing. Inside, a removable and washable paddle. I've cleaned all these parts. Below, there's a removable drip tray. A cover sits on top, where ingredients are poured. Unlike other ice cream makers, you can't really see what's happening inside, so it won't be visually exciting to watch, but hopefully, the final results will be. The quick start card is helpful, and the recipe guide is beautiful, filled with dairy, non-dairy, gelato, and sorbet recipes. Before getting too fancy, I'll start with their basic vanilla recipe. Given the conflicting 24-hour versus 2-hour waiting times, I'm sticking with 24 hours. I have a few more hours left, so I'll return then to make vanilla soft serve. It's time to make ice cream. The unit has been sitting for 24 hours, and I'm proceeding with their generic vanilla soft serve recipe for my first test. The recipe is quite basic: mix a few ingredients and pour them in. No ice, no pre-freezing. Let's see how it goes. The ingredients are 475 milliliters of heavy cream, 240 milliliters of whole milk, 150 g of sugar, 15 milliliters of vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. Step 1, mix all ingredients. Step 2, pour into the Blizzy machine. I've transferred the mixture to a smaller container for easier pouring. You can't see much, but it's all in there. Next, turn the machine on, then press the Make Ice Cream button. The display shows 20%, indicating the progress. It will be done at 100%. They say it should take about half an hour, so I'm eager to see the results in about 30 minutes. We're at 100%, and oh, here it comes. It's quite thick. The instructions suggest turning the hardness down to level 1 if you're keeping it running to prevent it from becoming too hard. I'll try it with the machine running. It looks pretty good and well formed. Let's taste it. The texture is a bit odd. I'll let it run a little longer to see if it smooths out. It's a bit clumpy, not what I expected or wanted. Maybe another 5 to 10 minutes will help. By the way, it only took about 20 minutes to reach 100%, not the advertised 30. I'll check back in 10 minutes to see if the consistency improves. Alright, it's been running for about 10 minutes on level 1. Let's try it again. I'll just take a small sample and then turn it off. Even after running at level 1 for 10 minutes, it's still a bit clumpy. That recipe was so basic, with just a few ingredients, it should have been hard to mess up. I dispensed it after it hit 100%, setting the hardness to level 4 as suggested. I'm going to try letting it sit for a bit. The instruction manual mentions that if the ice cream is too hard when dispensed, to let it sit for a few minutes to warm up before dispensing again. So, I'll try that. I'll let it sit for about 5 minutes. Maybe it got too cold, but the texture is really clumpy, not good. The taste is okay, but the texture is like ice cream chunks. I'm quite disappointed with this first round. I'll return in about 5 minutes to see if it dispenses any differently. It's been sitting for a few minutes. I'm not hopeful. Nope. I think it's just fat separation, it's not good. It's clumpy, almost like clumps of butter. I think I need to clean this out and try another recipe. If I can't get vanilla right, why move on to anything else? So, I'll come back with another round of vanilla after cleaning this machine out and making some tweaks to the recipe and settings. Hopefully, I can get it right. Round number 2. I initially planned just one vanilla test, assuming it would go well, then move on to more complex recipes. But I have to get the vanilla right. After reviewing the recipe, I have a few adjustments in mind. First, I'm swapping the proportions of cream and milk, 475 milliliters of milk to 240 milliliters of cream. Second, I'll ensure the sugar is well blended in the milk before adding the cream. Third, I'm adding 15 milliliters of light corn syrup to help stabilize things. I don't have any corn syrup at home, so I'm off to the store. I also ran a cleaning cycle, which took about 5 rounds until the water ran clear. That's acceptable if the ice cream turns out well, but it's a bit of a hassle when going from one batch to the next. I believe in showing both successes and failures, as it's a learning process that might help you if you end up buying this machine. Back to the drawing board for round 2 with the changes. Let's see how they turn out. First, 475 milliliters of whole milk, 150 g of sugar, and 15 milliliters of light corn syrup. Whisk that together. Now, add 240 milliliters of heavy cream, 15 milliliters of vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. I'll move this back to the machine, turn it on, and hit the Make Ice Cream button. This time, I'm setting the hardness to level 3, not level 4. I'll watch it closely and dispense as soon as it hits 100%. I'll let you know when something changes. Alright, we're at 100%. It looks softer. Visually, this looks much better. Let's take a bite. This is what we've got. No clumps. The updated recipe was a success. That's right, no clumps, this is proper soft serve. So, the first round was a learning experience, but the second round delivered. This means tomorrow we'll tackle something more elaborate. For now, I'm going to let this run for a while. They suggest reducing it to level 1, so I'll let it go for about half an hour and then see if it's still producing delicious soft serve or if it's a mess. I'll check back in half an hour. Let's try it after it's been running for a while on level 1. After running for a bit, it's pretty good, but there are a couple of small clumps. So, maybe it's overprocessing just a little. But overall, this round was a much greater success. I'm looking forward to seeing what else I can create tomorrow. Now, let's move on to a pineapple sorbet. Unlike other makers I've used that have specific settings for sorbet, this one doesn't. Looking at the recipe, the first step was to create 475 milliliters of pineapple puree, which I have here. To the puree, I'm adding 100 g of granulated cane sugar, 30 milliliters of honey, 15 milliliters of lime juice, and a pinch of salt. Now, I'll whisk all this together. It's time to pour it into the blizzy, which was thoroughly washed last night. I not only ran the wash cycle but also disassembled everything, washed it manually, and sponged the inside. So, it's clean. After everything is mixed, I'll pour it into the blizzy. Next, I'm supposed to turn it on and set the hardness to level 3 until it shows 100%. I'll need to watch it closely because as soon as it hits 100%, I have to dispense. And we're off. I'll see how long this takes and check back when it's done. Aha! 100% at 24.5 minutes. First, I'll reduce the hardness to level 1. Let's dispense and see what we've got. It's pretty thick. I'm going to stop right there and turn it off. It seemed to get stuck at 30% and then again at 90%. Here's the texture. What do you think? Now for the big taste test. I waited half an hour for this, plus a lot of prep time. Here we go. The flavor is good. Texture-wise, I'm not sure. I'd say overall it's pretty good. The texture is a little bit gritty, that could have been the puree. They didn't say to strain it, and I didn't. Maybe I should have. But I think this one's a success. Although, when I made pineapple sorbet with the Ninja Creami, the texture was a bit better. This tastes like a very strong pineapple sorbet. Even the texture is good, it's not crumbly as they suggested it might be. It looks beautiful. It's good, I'm enjoying it. It's very, very sweet, with a good pineapple flavor, nice and cold, and a good texture. I think it's more an issue with the recipe than anything. But, you know, it's pretty good. Based on my experience yesterday, this is a moderate success. Now, I need to finish this off, clean out this machine, and prepare for my final recipe, which is the most elaborate of the bunch. Hopefully, I didn't spend my morning preparing a recipe that will be a failure. I'll return shortly with my final recipe to put this machine to the ultimate test. First, a quick note about the recipe guide. Let's talk for a minute about this beautiful yet flawed guide. I found 3 issues. Number 1, they seem aware that overchurning is a problem, which I think happened in my first round. Every recipe ends with serve immediately or change hardness setting to 1 if letting it sit on the counter for a prolonged period of time. In other words, it's not clear that if you don't dispense immediately or turn it down to 1, it can overchurn. To me, they need to make that much clearer, a giant warning sign would help. Number 2, and probably the worst issue, almost every recipe begins with prepare egg-free cream base as above, but there is no above. No egg-free cream base is mentioned anywhere. Nowhere does it say, here's your egg-free cream base. I've assumed they might be referring to the first recipe, which gives full instructions, but it's certainly not explicit. And the final issue I have with this recipe guide is the lack of difficulty levels. There's one simple recipe, the vanilla one, and everything else requires heating ingredients in a saucepan. Most recipes are quite involved, with few simple options. Good looks don't make up for bad character, so to speak. Anyway, let's get back to the review. For my final recipe, I'm making this coffee cream. Once again, it says, prepare egg-free cream base as above, which doesn't exist. But here's what I did, I prepared a cornstarch slurry with 15 milliliters of cornstarch and 30 milliliters of cold milk. Then, in a saucepan, I combined the rest of the milk, 180 milliliters of heavy cream, 130 g of sugar, and 30 milliliters of corn syrup. I heated it on medium and whisked until it reached 82 degrees Celsius. Then, I added 30 milliliters of instant coffee grounds. Once dissolved, I added the cornstarch slurry. When it hit 95 degrees Celsius, I held it for 60 seconds. Finally, I poured it over 30 milliliters of softened, cubed cream cheese, whisked it all up, and put it in the fridge. Now it's time to add it to the machine and see what comes out. Compare that to their instructions: prepare egg-free cream base as above, which doesn't exist, dissolving coffee granules and milk mixture, and pour into the Blizzy. I think my instructions were a little bit better than yours, Blizzy, I'm sorry. It's time to pull it out of the fridge and pour it in. The pineapple mix went in slowly, and this has been in the fridge for a couple of hours, so it might be even slower. I was going to use my small funnel, but the hole is too small. However, I have a funnel that will work, the Funnel Fit. This isn't part of the review, but it's a great funnel that fits large or small openings and stands on its own. I'll leave a link to it below because it's excellent. Here is my mix. You can see it has a pretty thick texture. Let's taste it. That tastes good, the recipe is solid. Alright, let's pour it in. They say to turn it on and set the hardness to level 4. The stopwatch is running. Based on the other recipes, I'm guessing it will take about 25 to 30 minutes. I'll check back then for a taste test. Alright, I have to try it. It's too loud. 14 minutes. I have to try this. That sound is not good. Alright, shut up. My goodness, that did not sound good. But at 90%, it seems done. Here it is. That's what we've got. And there is the final result. What do you think? It looks pretty good, it's quite soft. I couldn't let it go on like that. How could that be good for the machine, making that kind of sound? Let's give it a taste test. It tastes delicious, it tastes like soft serve. It doesn't taste like scoopable ice cream, as they show in the picture, but of course, I stopped at 90%. It also sounded like it was about to explode. Good recipe, good recipe. Creamy, the taste is good, it's well blended. And with this, I think I have enough to wrap this up. Let's look now at the pros and cons of the Blizzy. The first pro is speed. It created soft serve in about 15 to 30 minutes, which I think most people would consider pretty fast. Number 2 is no pre-freezing. There's no planning ahead involved, you can quickly mix some ingredients and enjoy soft serve in less than an hour. Number 3, I'd say, is the great texture results once you realize it has to be dispensed immediately. It handled everything from simple to complex bases quite well. Number 4 is the presentation. It's an attractive, professional-looking machine with straightforward controls. It's a nice unit. Number 5 is the cleaning cycle. Even though I disassembled it after each round, it was usually pretty clean just from the cleaning cycle. Now, let's look at some of the unfortunate cons of this unit. The first one is that you really can't see your progress. There's a tiny hole that prevents you from seeing anything inside. That hole is so small, my small funnel didn't even fit. I would go so far as to say that's a design flaw. Having no ability to check on the progress or what's going on inside is not very helpful. Next up is the babysitting factor. The fact that there's no alarm means you really have to watch it. It seems pretty vital that you dispense and turn it down to level 1 as soon as it's finished. To me, that is a huge oversight. Related to that, the recipe guide implies overchurning is a possibility by telling you to immediately dispense or turn it to level 1, but it's not really that clear. It's too bad they couldn't have mechanically accounted for that and had it switch automatically, but they didn't. They leave it up to you, and you have to babysit it because there's no alarm. Next up is the recipe guide itself. As I mentioned earlier, it's confusing. It might look nice, but they keep referring to a base that isn't clearly defined. I think most people are going to miss that and be frustrated when they try out the recipes. Next up is mechanical strain. It seemed like it was struggling with some of the thicker bases I put in there. On the last one, it was making banging noises. That puts it under stress, which makes you worry about its long-term durability. In the end, I would say it does deliver pretty good results, but you're going to have to tinker with it quite a bit, and you have to babysit it. The cost is quite steep. There are a couple of things I consider design flaws, and the mediocre results sometimes rendered that no pre-freezing aspect moot. If you're willing to babysit the machine and don't mind its quirks, it's actually pretty good. But if you want a set it and forget it experience or something that doesn't require a lot of oversight, you might be disappointed. That's all I've got. If you've tried this or something similar, please share your thoughts in the comments below.